Hey guys, it's me. Last night we had the live class for the no-cut ruffle wreath, and it did not record. We did it live via Zoom meeting, and that was probably like my 51st or 52nd live class that I've done since July of 2017. And for some reason, it just did not record. I already reported the issue to Zoom, and so I'm doing it again. I actually did this class last December. I did a Christmas wreath. There goes my laptop, it just fell over. I did a Christmas wreath with the no-cut ruffle, and I could send you that video for those that wanted it and those that attended the class, but I thought, I've got the material, I'll just go ahead and I'll just make another one. It really won't take me that long, and I'd rather send you something fresh. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't have any more work wreath forms, which are the work forms or the wreath forms that already have the pipe cleaners attached, but that's fine. It's easy enough to make your own. If you look in the video section of the group, you'll see that I actually posted a video that I found on YouTube. I was going to make a separate video of my own showing how to attach pipe cleaners to a wreath form, but I found this one on YouTube. I can't remember her name. She's from Halo Designs. She's great. She actually does it the same way I do. So I just went ahead and I posted that link to YouTube on the page, and it should be in the video section as well too. But if not, then let me know if you need it and I can get it to you. I might even attach it when I send the video to you. I'll just attach the YouTube link and how to attach your pipe cleaners. Or you can use a work wreath form. Typically when I use a work wreath form, I buy the 15-inch ones from Craft Outlet or Trendy Tree, or the Wreath Shop has them too. I'll be honest with you, the one that I used in my class last night was from Michael's, and I didn't like it that much. I'm going to come right out and tell you, it's the first time that I've used a work wreath form from Michael's, and it didn't have enough pipe cleaners on it, in my opinion. So typically, and you're going to see in the video that I posted too, that this is a Dollar Tree form. And a good rule of thumb is to, I'm just going to shut off my Facebook here, I keep getting notifications. A good rule of thumb is to put 10 pipe cleaners on the outside and 8 on the inside, about 4 inches apart. And again, you'll see in the video that I posted from YouTube, that's how she does it as well. This one I kind of put an extra one on here, because when I went ahead and I spaced them 4 inches apart, I ended up having 6. I have 9 on the inside of this one, and I have 11 on the outside. That's just how it worked out. I was spacing them 4 inches apart. But it's better to have too many than not enough. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I actually wrapped them around the 2 outer bars and the 2 inner bars. It just makes them a little bit more stable, and I added a little bit of hot glue so they don't slide. So that's that. Very easy to do. Now this mesh I've actually had for a while. I got it last year somewhere. I can't remember where. I might even just make this base and save it for Halloween. I might make this no-cut ruffle wreath base and save it for Halloween, because it's got some purple and it's got some green in it. It's got a bunch of different Halloween-y type colors. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because the base that I made last night was more of like a pinkish color, and it had jute running through it. And that's something that I think I might even turn into either a pink flamingo wreath for summer, or I will do a maybe a pink lemonade wreath. So, and I know I posted a picture of it, but I'll show you again. This is the one that I made in the class last night. So, and we're just going to use a different color mesh, and we're going to just do the same process I did in the class last night, but this time we're going to get a recording of it so I can send it to you guys. And I'm so sorry about that. But it's like a pinkish, and it's got the jute in it, so I think that would be a good summer wreath. So I'm going to make this base, and I think it would make a good Halloween wreath. So I'm going to save it for Halloween. So I'll have my base ready when Halloween time runs around, which, as you know, people start making wreaths for fall and Halloween in August, so it's really not that far off. April May, June, July, August, 4 months away, 3-4 months away. I'm just going to cut this raw edge off of this mesh here. Whoops, what did it do that? Just to get a clean edge, which in my opinion, I still think that the rotary cutter causes frays. That's why I always use my wood burning tool when I'm doing a wreath with mesh that needs to be cut, because this is still going to fray. Just this one cut end is still going to fray, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be the rest. That's the only part that's going to be cut is the very end. Nothing else is going to be cut. And you're going to see how easy this is. Well, ouch, when you first start doing it, you might find it's a little bit cumbersome. And I'm actually just going to use my mesh roller. This is my neat mesh roller that I got from Susie's Wreath and Things, a mesh holder. So this is just what I'm going to use to hold my mesh while I ruffle it, because I'm still going to be ruffling it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But this will just hold it for me. But this is a really neat tool. You put the mesh on the spool here. It comes out. You can either put one 21-inch roll of mesh or two 10-inch rolls, and then you kind of feed it through the slot here, and there's a measuring stick. It's really, really nice. So I'm just going to actually put this on here to hold it for me, just like I did in my class last night. And there's a little doohickey on the end here that just kind of holds it so your thing doesn't slide off. It stays on there. So I'm just going to put that on there just to hold my mesh for me while I scrunch it. And I use it when I'm using the wood burning tool too, and it just kind of holds it in place. Your mesh doesn't roll on the floor. Susie's Wreaths and Things. She has a Facebook page. She also has an Etsy shop, and this is $29.99, but I'm telling you right now, it's definitely worth the money. Okay, so what we're going to do now, all you're going to need is zip ties. These are 4-inch zip ties from Walmart. You can get a bag of 100 for $1.27 or something like that. All we're going to do is make 20-inch ruffles. Now, I have my measuring mat here. My measuring mat's only 18. I really need to get a bigger measuring mat. But I found that when I was doing it last night, I was counting my scrunches, and I made 10 scrunches. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So instead of having to worry about measuring it to 20 inches, all you got to do is do 10 scrunches. Now, here's what I mean by that. Typically, and I'm going to move this for a minute so you can see my mesh. Typically, because you're really not even going to need that, when you do a ruffle, you just scrunch up the middle like that, right? You're kind of going fast with it. You're not really, there's really no, that's your ruffle, okay? Now, with this method, see the end's already fraying here. It's making me crazy. This is why I love this method. Now, with the no-cut ruffle, what we're going to do is we're still going to scrunch it, but it's going to be like an accordion fold, okay? So what I do is I take my 2 index fingers here, my pointer fingers, I'm sorry, and I scrunch up once, okay? So we have one scrunch, okay? But you're going to be very careful in how you do this because you're going to be making folds like an accordion. Take your finger again and scrunch again. So you see how these are folded together like that? That's very important, okay? So we're going to do 10 of these. So that's 2, 3, and as you're going along, make sure that these folds are staying together, okay? Don't worry too much about whether you have an equal amount of mesh on both sides. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and as you're going along, make sure that your mesh is all even here. I'll tell you what, I'll show you what I mean in a second. 7, 8, 9, 10. Because you can fix it at the end. And what I mean by that, now these 10 scrunches are going to give you a 20-inch ruffle, because I figured it out last night when I was doing it. So if you don't want to have your measuring mat there, just do 10 of these. And it's like an accordion fold. And what I meant, what I said before, is make sure they're all even. See all your folds, how your mesh is all folded together? Make sure it's all even at the top and you have all of your folds together, because what you're going to do, just kind of fix it with your fingers and make sure all your edges are even at the top. You don't have some pieces that are down farther. If you have to reach up and pull some up a little bit more, that's important, okay? And the reason why that's important is this is what we're going to do. This is where your zip ties come in. So make sure all your folds are even, right in the middle. Don't worry about it so much on the ends, but in the middle. Because what we're going to do, so make sure they're all even across the top, all your 10 folds. And take your zip tie, and you're going to put it right through the center here, okay? And we're going to attach all these folds together. So this is why it's similar to your regular ruffle method, but you gotta make sure all your folds are together, because you want to catch all of those folds with your zip tie. See how the zip tie is going right through the center there? See that? You gotta make sure you catch all of those. That's what's gonna hold your ruffle together. And that's that. And there you have your first, ruffle. But we're not going to cut it. Let me get my snippers. Whoops, something fell on my foot. You can snip that piece of the zip tie off as you go along. Now, this is why you may want to have your cutting mat out, because what you need to do now is you need to give yourself a 2-inch gap. You're not going to cut that. We're going to make like a garland. This is where the no-cut ruffle method comes into play. You need a 2-inch space in between your ruffles, because that's what we're going to attach to our wreath form. So that's why it's kind of good to have your cutting mat out. So where you ended that first ruffle, you're going to go 2 inches, okay? 1, 2 on your cutting mat. You're going to pull that down. So you have that little gap there between your ruffles, and you're just going to start all over again. So you could either measure at 20 inches, or you can just do your 10 folds with your fingers like that. So 1, 2, 3, and go slow. It's not a race. 4, because you want to try to keep it centered too, so your ruffles are even. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. You see how my mesh holder is really holding my mesh down for me. You can't really see it just over there, but it's holding my mesh down for me so it doesn't flop all over the place. Okay, here I have my 10 folds again. So here's where you want to just stop and make sure that they're all even at the top. All your mesh is lined up. All your folds are lined up. So you're going to catch all of those folds with your zip tie. So just stop and take a minute and make sure they're all even at the top here, all lined up. They're all lined up here, okay? Because you want to make sure you catch all those folds. This is why you kind of have to go a little bit slow. I know a lot of people who've done a ruffle wreath tend to ruffle it up really fast. This method, you're not going to want to go fast. because you got to make sure you have that accordion fold, that nice fold there, and they're all folded together. So you can get your zip tie through all those folds. Right in the middle, and it'll go through because there's holes. So go right through the middle of your folds. Make sure you hold on to it so it doesn't come apart while you get your zip tie on. I had one of them come apart on me last night, and I had to ruffle it up all over. And if you get in the middle, your folds are all, see, I think this one, see, I didn't catch that one all the way. It's starting to come out a little bit. See, my fold wasn't even there. I'm going to have to redo that one. So that's why it's important to make sure that all your folds are even. So I'm going to take this one off and do it over again. See, it even happens to me. So let's do it over again here. Let's get our 2-inch gap here, a 2-inch space, and start over again. So go slow, 1, 2, 3. You can adjust it as you go along too. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And meshes all over the place, sorry. 9, 10, because I was pulling up on it. So again, stop and make sure all your folds are pulled up and at the top. And I had missed just one, and it wasn't pulled up all the way, and then I didn't catch it right in the middle. That's very important. You can even fix it so there's an equal amount of ruffle on both sides. Make sure they're all pulled up. And all lined up at the top here. And as you go along, it's going to seem a little weird at first, and make sure you go right through the middle. Maybe I just didn't go down far enough with my zip tie. That might have been it too. As you go along, it's going to get a little bit easier. When you first do it, it's going to feel a little bit weird. Well, this zip tie is a stubborn one. As you go along and get it as tight as you can. So now I did catch all of them. You can see. Just make sure you put it down far enough that you catch all of them. And that's important. Oh, I can snip that one off. This is really pretty mesh. I don't even remember where I got it. I think I got it from a de-stash site. But that'd be pretty for Halloween. So now I have 2. You see those 2? Let me see better if I move my mat. See the 2 ruffles there? So you're sort of making like a garland. I have 2 ruffles there. 1, 2. That's really all you're doing, is you're just making like a garland. And this cut out's going to drive me crazy. Once you get it on the wreath, it'll be out of your way. This is why this method's so nice. So that's it. You're just going to keep doing this until you get to the end of your roll. Okay? I'm going to show you one more, and then I'm going to turn the camera off for a little while and finish this roll, and then I'll show you how to attach it to the, this one's a little bit uneven. I have a little bit more on this side than this side, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm just going to guesstimate 2 inches. If you want to keep your cutting mat there, you can, but 2 inches is pretty much the length of my fingers. I'm just going to pull it down 2 inches like that, just so I have my space. Got to have your little space there to attach to your wreath form, and then just start over again. So 1, 2, try to keep it in the middle. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull them up, make sure they're all even. At this point, if you want to maybe adjust to make sure that you have the same amount of ruffle on both sides. I wish I had a different color table. This mesh seems to be blending in with the table. Make sure all your folds are together. Get your zip tie. Make sure you go down far enough so you get them all. And that's it. A no-cut ruffle. Pull it as tight as you can. Ruffle number 3. You're probably going to get about 11 ruffles. If you have an extra ruffle and not enough pipe cleaners on your wreath form, just add another pipe cleaner. So now we have 3. Whoops. We have 1, 2, 3, which are kind of hard to see because they're attached together, but once you get them on the wreath form, and it actually looks really pretty when it's done. You can even make a garland out of this and put it on your mantle or whatever at Christmas time. So I'm going to stop the camera for a little while, and I'm going to finish doing this roll, and then I'm going to show you how to attach to the wreath form. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. I actually wanted to show you the last portion of making this garland. That's what I call it because it is a garland. And I actually discovered an easier way to do your scrunches and to make them even on both sides. And I'll show you. Look how nice this one ruffle came out here. It's really even on both sides. It's very centered, and I'm going to show you how I did that. As I was moving along, I discovered it was a lot easier this way. So we're going to make our 2-inch space. I'm almost to the end of my roll here. So make your 2-inch space, which is really just one pull with your fingers is 2 inches. Let that drop down off the table. If you want to use your measuring mat, you can. But now watch what I'm doing here. So as I'm scrunching, 1 finger pull, I'm taking both my hands and flattening it out like that. And what that's going to do, that's going to ensure that it's right in the middle, okay, and it's going to stay flat and even. Okay, I'll show you what I mean again. Take your finger and do your pull. There's 2, and just go down like that with your hands and grab the whole thing. Okay, 3, grab your hands and pull it down. Okay, 4, see how I'm grabbing with my hands and I'm kind of pulling it down? That's 4, 5, 6. Just kind of pull it down with your hands, with the sides of you're using these fingers to pull it down, and the rest of your hand to keep it in place. How many do I have here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grab with your hand. 8. Grab with your hand. 9. Grab with your hand. I'm getting to the end of my roll here. And 10. So lift it up, and you can see your edges are pretty much straight already because of the way that I was doing that by pulling it down with my hands like that. As I was pulling up, I'm holding it down with my hands as I'm making my accordion folds. And it's really pretty straight on there. And it's even on both sides. I have an even amount of mesh on both sides of my my center. So make sure you go down far enough with your pipe cleaner, or your zip tie, to make sure you catch all those folds. Okay. See how it's coming through that side? There it is right there. Going through that side. I went down pretty far because I want to make sure that I catch them all. Sounds like Pokemon. You ever watch Pokemon with your kids? Got to catch them all. Oh my God, Pokemon's been around since my kids have been little. My kids are in their mid-20s, upper 20s. They used to love Pokemon. It's still around. These zip ties are really kind of stubborn. Let me clean my mouth. Sometimes you got to use your other tools that are handy. But look how nice that ruffle came out. How it's even on both sides. Now it doesn't really look like a ruffle now because it's all attached. It looks like a big garland. But trust me when I tell you, when you get it on your wreath. Now I'm at the end of my roll. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do another full 20 inches. I got to cut that off. Hold on a second here. Actually, let me just pull it right off of the cardboard without getting that nasty staple. I might be able to use the rest of that and get the staple so I don't step on it later. I'm not quite sure how much is left on there. Let me measure. I might be able to make one more ruffle out of that. I hate to waste. Hold on a second here. Well, there's actually right about 20 inches there, so I'll have enough to make one more. Make sure you make your space. So I just kind of eyeball it. One finger pull is my space so I can attach it to my wreath form. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have like sort of a half of a ruffle here. I've got enough to do 6. That's okay. I'm going to keep it. I don't want to waste. I'm going to kind of tuck this cut end under. Just kind of fold it under. See how I'm doing that? I'm just kind of folding this cut end under. And I'm going to try to catch it with the zip tie so it doesn't show. So I have about, what did I say, 5 or 6 folds here. So it's going to be a little baby ruffle, but I'm going to use it because I don't want to waste. I'm just going to try to fold these together as good as I can, so I don't. I'm going to try to get these all zip tied together as best as I can. So I'll have a half of a ruffle here, but that's okay. I don't like to waste. We'll find a spot for it. These zip ties are very stubborn. There we go. There. I have a little baby ruffle on the end here. That's okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to attach to the wreath form. Get this out of the way. This is one roll. I'm not going to be adding any ribbon because this is more or less to show you the technique, but you can add ribbon because of the way we're attaching it to the pipe cleaners. You'll be able to attach ribbon on top there. But there's my garland. It looks like a pretty garland, doesn't it? Look at that. Like a pretty fluffy deco mesh garland. Pretty. You can make this in any color. You could hang it on your mantle and you can make a garland out of it. You don't even have to put it on a wreath. So it's another way to make a garland. I think that would look really pretty on a tabletop or, like I said, on a mantle. You just got to kind of make sure it's all laying down flat for you. So anyway, let's get to this wreath form because it's almost 10 o'clock here where I am, but I wanted to get this video done for you guys. So start with your first ruffle, okay? Now I'm going to start on the outside. You need to find your space, that 2-inch space that you made, which is right here. There's my first ruffle right there, and there's my little space, my 2-inch space. You're going to gather that together, and that's what you're going to attach to your wreath form. Now I'm going to go face down, and what I mean by that is I want the little cut ends of my zip ties to be facing down. Last night I did it facing up, and I think this time I'm going to do it facing down because I don't want to see those cut zip ties. So go right into your pipe cleaner and attach it just like you're going to attach a ruffle, but you're going to do it in that little space, that little 2-inch space that you made. I keep getting messages here on my Facebook. Whoops. I need to shut my Facebook off here so I don't get, there we go. So I don't get notifications because it's annoying. Notifications are annoying, but when you're trying to do something else. See, but I don't know now because these cut ends are facing up and I don't want these cut ends to face up. So let's just change what I just said. I'm going to put it with the little cut zip tie part facing up, because I think it just is going to look better. And you're going to be able to cover that. Once you add your ribbons and whatnot, you're not going to be able to see that. And I just think the ruffle looks prettier this way. Give it a couple of twists. And that's it. There's your first ruffle on there. Move to the next pipe cleaner and just keep going. Try to keep your garland in order here. Go to your next pipe cleaner, find that space that you made, that 2-inch space, and attach it. Give it a couple of twists. You can fluff up your mesh pieces after you're done. You may want to get twisted as you're attaching it, but just straighten it out. Whoops. Go this way. Just be patient. Find your next space, the next space in between your ruffles, and just keep going. Keep going around your wreath form. The only phrase you're going to have are the ones at the very end where you cut. Like I said, make sure you got them all going in the same direction. It's going to want to try to twist on you. Just kind of be patient in what you're doing. Okay, and there's my next space. Just gather it together. And these pipe cleaners are not moving at all because of that glue, and that's really, really helpful, that hot glue. And you can kind of see my pipe cleaners here, but I'm not really going to worry about it because I will be adding ribbon. I'm probably going to save this base for Halloween. So I think these are like Halloween-y colors. So for now, I'm just going to kind of move my pipe cleaners around to the back so I don't see them. But then they're there when I'm ready to add my ribbon. Okay, let's keep going around. Find your next space. cannot believe it is snowing. We finally got rid of all of our snow here in upstate New York, and then around 3 o'clock, 3:30, the wind started to roar, and we lost power for a few hours actually, and it was weird because it was sunny, but it was just windy. And my son and I went to the grocery store. By the time we got home, the power was back, thank goodness. But then it started to snow. In fact, I don't even know. When I went out there about a half hour ago, there was probably about half an inch of snow. Let me take a peek and see if it stopped. Yeah, it did stop. But there's an inch of snow on the ground. I just want to cry. Spring is never going to get here. And you know what? And in a few months, I'm going to be sweating and wishing it was cool again. So I'm not going to complain anymore. All right. Make sure that you're not twisted. Find your next space. There's my next space there. And grab it. Stick it in my pipe cleaner. Look, that mesh is so pretty. Give it a couple of twists. I'm going to hide my pipe cleaner for now underneath because I'm not ready to add my ribbon yet. Again, if you find as you're going around that you have too many ruffles and not enough pipe cleaners, then just put another pipe cleaner on. You're not going to want to go to the middle. What I mean by that is if you have an extra ruffle here on the outside, don't go to the middle with it because then you're going to have too many in the middle. Now remember, because you have less pipe cleaners in the middle. So if you're going to have an extra ruffle on the outside and you try to move it on the inside, you're going to have too many ruffles on the inside. So it's better just to add an extra pipe cleaner on the outside and put your ruffle there. But I might even think I might be one short for my outside here. So I may have to borrow from my inside roll, which is okay, because I know I'm probably going to have too much on the inside. So here I am putting my other ruffle in, going to my next space. Pushing my pipe cleaner underneath so I don't see it for now. And you can go through after you're done and you can fluff all your ruffles up, but look how fluffy this is already. And the mesh likes to stick together, so you can fluff it up when you're done. Fix any gaps that you have, or you can kind of push it in together like this. Move this down a little bit. And once you put your mesh in the middle, just kind of fluff it up. So I actually have, where am I here? This is my last ruffle here. I'm going to actually take this is kind of just setting there. I want it to, I'm going to add this to this pipe cleaner too, I think, because I want it to lay a little bit flatter. So I might stick another ruffle in that one spot right there. Somehow this did not lay right over here. I don't like the way this is laying. Hold on, let me just, this is this little extra ruffle that I had. It's not a full ruffle. So hold on one second for me. I just need to fix this. It does not, it's not laying right. If you're fussy like me, then you want stuff to look right as you're attaching it. And I am fussy. There. And just one little half of a ruffle here. I'm going to try to twist this piece around it like this, just to hold it. I may have to put another one in there in between because it's looking kind of funky. I probably should have cut that one off because it's not a full ruffle. But I don't like to waste. Yeah, you know what? This half of a ruffle looks a little weird. I'm just going to cut it off because I don't like it. It's not looking good in my eyes, so we're just going to get rid of it. So I'm going to actually have extra room on the outside for more. I'm just going to cut it right off. Goodbye. I'm actually going to I have a couple of extra pipe cleaners left on the outside here, but that's okay because I have less pipe cleaners on the inside, so I'll be able to steal one or two of those ruffles and put it back on the outside. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to ruffle up my second roll. I will do that off camera and come back and we'll finish the wreath. See you in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back. I actually went ahead and I did my second roll. I ruffled it up and made my garland, and I already attached it to my wreath form. Be careful though, because you're going to find that as you're attaching it to the middle, you know how mesh likes to stick together. So you're going to get you may get a little bit frustrated. It's going to try to stick together as you're putting it in that second row in the middle. But just take your time. You know, don't let it get away from you. I'm just kind of pulling some frays here. And the frays are only coming from these cut pieces on the end. So you're just going to want to try to tuck those under as good as you can. And this is when you're going to want to fluff. And, you know, one thing I've noticed, and I think this is why I like to buy the wreath forms that already have the pipe cleaners. I kind of feel like I like the Dollar Tree forms, but I'll be honest with you, I kind of feel like, because I've been sitting here fluffing it, you know, I didn't turn the camera back on right away because I've been sitting here trying to fluff it. And it just seems like this wreath on the Dollar Tree frame isn't as full as this one that I made last night in class on the work frame from Michael's. Because like look how big and fluffy that is. Look at that. And this is the Dollar Tree form, and it just seems like it's still fluffy and it's still very pretty, but it just seems like it's a little flatter to me. And I think the reason for that is because Dollar Tree frames are more flat. When you get the work wreath forms, they're raised, and you'll notice that, and I can't really show you now because the mesh is on it, but they're just a little bit more raised. They're like more dome shaped than the Dollar Tree forms. The Dollar Tree forms are flat. So you will pay a little bit more for a work wreath frame with the pipe cleaners already attached, but because they're domed and they're raised, you do get a fuller wreath. Again, this is full, but it's just not as full as the work wreath frames. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I did both so you could see the difference. This is still pretty, you know, I'm going to definitely save this for Halloween, I think, because of the colors, those pretty Halloween colors. And I will add some ribbon or maybe a pretty Halloween sign. I'm not quite sure yet, but I felt bad. I don't know why this other class didn't record last night, but I wanted to be able to get it to you. I have another video from last December where I did the same method. And if you can see the zip ties a little bit, don't worry about that because you can cover that with ribbon. I did kind of tuck my pipe cleaners in a little bit so you couldn't see them for now because I'm not going to be adding ribbon right away. Like I said, I'm going to be saving the space for the fall, for Halloween. But that's the Dollar Tree frame with the no-cut ruffle. And this is the work wreath frame from Michaels with the pipe cleaners already attached. This is actually a little bit bigger too. This is a 16-inch wreath form, and this is only, the Dollar Tree is only 14 inches. So it is a little tiny bit smaller, but it's still pretty. Let me hang this back up here. But anyway, guys, that's it. I am so sorry this video from last night didn't record. I don't know why, but you have this one. I also have my other no-cut ruffle wreath video here from last December where I used some fabric mesh. I think I posted that picture of the wreath that I made. It was a snowman wreath. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be happy to help you. And you have a great night. Thank you. Bye.